This is a brief history of, yes, you guessed it, Fendi. And fun fact, before we get into it, the FF does not stand for Fendi. It actually stands for Fun Fur. The logo was created by Karl Lagerfeld during his 54-year time there at Fendi. Yes, that is 54 years. But let's get into it. Fendi was created in 1925 by Adele and Edoardo Fendi in Rome, Italy. This was their original storefront in 1926. They originally started off doing handbags and furs, more specifically fur coats. They didn't have the ready-to-wear line until much later. And in comes in the 5 daughters of Adele and Edoardo, who took over Fendi and made it the powerhouse that it is today. Anna took care of the design and licensing. Carla was in charge of the commercial and the press office. Franca served as the purchasing manager and managed external relationships with clients. Alda was responsible for managing their atelier and fur workshop, and Paola oversaw the fur segment. So this was very much a family-ran business, and it still is to this day. This is why I love Fendi, because of the great history of it being a family-owned company and then being female-led. Somewhere between the 60s and 70s, Karl Lagerfeld became the creative director of Fendi and really helped Fendi establish themselves as the leading maison for fur coats. And that's where it came in. Fun Fur, FF, isn't for Fendi, as I said previously. It's for Fun Fur. In 1977, Karl Lagerfeld and the Five Sisters released their first ready-to-wear collection. Does this not scream Karl Lagerfeld? The FF was the interior lining of every single fur coat. That way you can easily identify what fur coats were Fendi. And funnily enough, they realized that they could convert that FF into their ready-to-wear at a much lower prices in comparison to what the fur coats were selling for. So incredibly clever tactic. I was able to see that these FF logos were able to be sold to ready-to-wear at a much lower price. And now we wear it, I believe, everywhere. There's so many scarves, the boots, everything. As time progressed and the Five Sisters got older, in stepped in the third generation of strong female leadership. Silvia Venturini Fendi was the third generation to be in charge of Fendi, and she has taken over since then. And just like her aunts, her mother, and her grandparents, she has done a phenomenal job at Fendi. She stepped in 1992, and by the late 90s, she created none other than the Fendi baguette. And this was a pivotal change within Fendi's trajectory, because beforehand it was just mainly known for its ready-to-wear and fur coats, but the Fendi baguette changed everything, because now she became known as that girl. When it first came out, it wasn't as popular. It wasn't until Sarah Jessica Parker wore it on Sex and the City that the Fendi baguette completely exploded. For my online